So this is kind of our roadmap. In fact, today we launched our kind of mainnet beta and had our initial set of validators. I think we're over 50 now that have ported over from our testnet now onto mainnet beta. This is a network that's running staking and transfers, and very soon we'll run smart contracts. That's already in the release pipeline. We are planning on supporting more virtual machines in this network, and all those kinds of things are on a monthly release cycle. And the goals are for us are by the end of the year is to have 200 validators or similar numbers to Cosmos, and the kind of partners we're looking for. Our goals there are getting to 2 million monthly active users amongst all of them, and that would really demonstrate like real life usage of the network, by significant numbers. So we're super excited about that. So we're also, I think, not only are we fast, we're fast on actually shipping. So that's been, I think, something that's quite a differentiator. The first line of code was written February 2018. So we're basically done in under, well, roughly about 2 years. I think the company's actually formed less than 2 years ago. So we've been moving as fast as we can. And I think we've demonstrated our real thesis is that if you have built software that can leverage hardware, that you can actually horizontally scale these blockchains. So we're using hardware to scale to 50,000 TPS. We've already seen how that hardware has gotten cheaper. We went from using 4 GPU cards to 2, and now to 1. And in some cases, with using AMD's most recent processors, you don't even need a GPU card. So we anticipate this kind of fast-paced hardware growth to continue, and for us to be able to keep up with any kind of demand in terms of user growth. So this has been our kind of funding history. Around 2 years ago, we did a seed round and an A round a few months after that, over the summer, after we've built the team and demonstrated that we can actually build a high performance single node replicated state machine. We had a really good support from the Validator community, and they've been part of a lot of our funding rounds, actually, including some of the seed and founding rounds were coming from Validators. But most recently, we had a lot of Validator support as well. Over this last summer, I believe, is when we had the Validator round, and during the strategic round, a lot of the Validators invested as well. So this kind of CoinList auction is our opportunity to do a token sale to the broader community, and it's strategically priced at the same price as our seed round. How we see, going to market, it's never been about, getting liquidity. It's been about user growth. And for us, that means getting users into the network at the most fair price possible. So CoinList Dutch auction is one of those ways, and setting the lowest price to the same price as a seed round is a way to show the community that really want folks in to participate in the network at this kind of like most fair price that's available at the market at the time. So far, if you take a look at kind of how tokens have been distributed, between all the investors, it's around 40%. So the foundation and community pool make up about 50%. And then the founders is about 12.5. So from the foundation side, it's almost half of the network hasn't been distributed yet. And these tokens are going to be strategically sold into the market based on our distribution strategy. And part of that is this staking guarantee that I'll get into a little bit later. So we've had a lot of support from a lot of folks. Kyle is from Multicoin. Foundation Capital has been, I think, probably in every round. Slow Ventures was a super early supporter. The NGC, CMCC, Blockchain, these folks have been really helping us not only on the financial side, but in terms of advice and helping us find companies and teams and partners. And it's been really awesome to have them. A lot of them are validators, like obviously Bison Trail, staking facilities, and have been also working on the tech side. So we've been, we've had a lot of support from a lot of really good people in the space. And sorry if I missed anybody. We've been super lucky with the kind of folks that have been helping us. There's a ton of resources online. You can reach out to us through the portal on Discord, Telegram, Twitter, forums, Medium. We have a really cool podcast that's got some of the top folks in the space. It's called the No Sharding Podcast. So please check it out. So some of the adoption stories that we haven't had a lot of chance to talk about is more on the DeFi side. And this is actually very appropriate, as we've seen recently. There's been some, we saw both markets panic in terms of sheer numbers, but also in terms of performance. Part of the MakerDAO problem was that gas prices shut up and the bots couldn't handle that increase in price to actually trade and rebalance. Some of the things we're building and working on building are tools where we can leverage our performance and speed for DeFi and trading. And the thing that we're really interested in are building instruments for traders like binary options, because we can demonstrate with our 400 millisecond blocks a really high performance fast oracle, and our capacity would virtually guarantee that it's never going to get clogged like we saw with Ethereum. And when you have systems like that, you can actually have an open, fair marketplace that can be resilient when we do have panic, when markets do go sideways and volatility shoots up. To us, that seems like an opportunity to build decentralized trading platforms that are even better than what you see on centralized platforms, because everything is transparent, but also is robust. We have a really amazing validator community. Over 450 signed up. Altogether, I think 150 have participated in dry runs. I think shortly after launch, we expect to get maybe 80 folks fully up and running. And for us, this is really a demonstration of a truly decentralized network, not only from just the number of people, but also geographically, because we have folks running nodes inside the Great Firewall in Singapore and Australia, across Europe, across the United States. So it's been really cool to watch this come together, really go from nothing, from us just running our own nodes, to all of a sudden having a global supercomputer that's synchronized in 400 milliseconds. So to me, this has been, I think, maybe the coolest part of the experience so far. And as we've seen in over the last 2 years that we've been building these networks, we've already seen the price for the hardware for validators drop by half, or performance increase by 2x. So from our perspective, I think what's really interesting about this network is that we are future-proof in terms of performance, that hardware is going to get faster. When I started at Qualcomm, we had 400 megahertz, the 16-bit cheap devices. And when I left, there were 8-core, 64-bit, 4 gigabytes of RAM, supercomputers that you could hold in your hand. The same thing is going to happen again in the next 10 years. You know, you're going to have CPUs with 1,000 cores in them, and our design is the kind of design that can actually handle it. A lot of folks always ask me, like, why do we need, why isn't Bitcoin just perfect? Well, in the span of like the time that Bitcoin has been around, hardware has gotten 32 times faster. Networks have gotten at least 8 times faster, and nothing about it has changed. And fundamentally, that's a design mismatch. That means that there's something mismatched, from those kinds of networks to what's happening in the world. So one way or another, it has to change. I think we're part of that change. So we can build, I think, something that is really robust and really fast and actually scales as with the future. So we have a broad community, and we have been focusing in Asia as well. So if there are folks that are listening from Asia, please reach out to us. But we have team members that are distributed there. We have community managers, tons of validators that want to help in terms of both coordinating developers and coordinating the community growth. And we have obviously opportunity for folks that are technical to be both validators, developers, and apply for the accelerator program. And if they want to take an application to market, we can help. But also folks that are non-technical that want to be ambassadors and kind of do a lot of the community building efforts with us as well. And I think that's it.